So many people don't use their brands when it comes to social media, and they'll choose a funny picture, or they'll choose a template from Canva and not change any of the colors. And that will really hurt their brand, because then someone will see the post and say to their friend, hey, I saw this great post the other day. Let me see if I can find it. Instead of saying, Elizabeth posted this great thing, let me show you, because then they know who it is, where it's from, because it was branded enough for them to remember that it was from me or from you or whatever. So we want to make sure that we brand everything. And just because we're doing social media doesn't mean it's going to convert, right? They're going to see our social media, and it should be sending them to a page where they can buy something, or they can sign up for a call or something like that. Have that sale start to happen.
Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name is Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com, and Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners, and you can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today it's my pleasure to welcome Elizabeth Pampalone. And her business is Absolute Marketing, and we're going to be discussing creating 1 year of social media in a day. Wow, that's a lot. So Elizabeth is an author, international speaker, successful entrepreneur, and expert marketer with over 20 years of experience. My goodness, she doesn't even look that old. So innovative approach helps overwhelmed business owners and burnt out non-profit directors to achieve success and freedom through the power of absolute marketing. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me. So I know social media content is like one of the last things on my to-do list, and especially at the end of the week when I've had a really busy week. So how can business owners make these two things, sort of coincide and, keep it consistent, and so they're not so stressed out?
Well, a few years ago, I developed a system that I'd been using for myself for about 10 years. I was running 2 to 4 companies at any given time for my own businesses, and I was having to do tons of social media marketing and branding as well. And so I just decided, you know what, I need to streamline this for myself. And I did. And then I realized, oh, I can do this with clients. So I've been in business for about 15 years, and I've been doing marketing for over 20. And I was realizing that the industry was the same. Like everybody was kind of following the same patterns, the same, little formulas, if you will. And when I developed my strategy, it was like night and day. It was just not what people were saying. It's not what the gurus were telling everyone. And then I started using it with clients, and I started realizing, wow, this is so much more impactful than just, me using it for myself. So I just started doing that with clients. And basically it's a system where we spend one day on our social media, and we create up to 365 posts for the entire year. And there's some really simple methods of getting this done, but it does promote consistency. And you mentioned that consistency is huge. You cannot get around that. And when someone goes to your social media platform and they look at your, dates timestamp of when you last posted, and it was like 3 months ago, because you got busy, because something happened with your family, because you went on vacation, like it doesn't matter what the reason was, but you stopped being consistent. And even when we all get on that January bandwagon and we're like, we're going to do social media every week or every day, and then we don't, it can really hurt our business. So this is definitely a much easier way of doing that.
Oh, great. We'll get into that in a moment, because, from when I do my posting, I usually schedule them. So, it just saves me time, and I can just schedule a whole heap of posts and then not worry about it for a few weeks. So, and then go back and revisit them as people make comments or put a reaction on them. So that's my cheat, I guess, my way of cheating the system. So, do you advocate people doing that, or do you have a different kind of a system?
Yeah, I do use scheduling, but we actually schedule the whole year in advance. Because I believe that when we are excited about something, we want to post it, we want to share it. And so we do, we just post a picture, or we, type up something and post it. But when it comes to consistency in our messaging, we often fall flat there. And so what this method does is it allows us to set up a weekly schedule that's followed every single week and then broken down by day. So for example, if you actually post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, let's say as your consistency posts, of course, you might post more than that. You might throw in some things that you feel like, oh, an event is coming up, I'm going to be speaking somewhere, here's a blog post. Those are kind of extra things, right? But this is your 3 posts a week, 4 posts a week, every single week they're there. And so I like to create 4 different types of posts. One is that fluff post. One is an educational post. One is a sales post. And then the fourth one is kind of that flex post. It might be your, like a holiday or an event that you, like I said, some kind of annual event or
personal.
or even something personal, right? But I try to keep it on that education and that sales, because a lot of people forget those 2 things.
Yes, they do. Yes, and they get I don't know, they get more personal and less business, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to run through that strategy? I mean, you've just alluded to, the 3 or 4 days a week. And I mean, do you use scheduling platforms, or do you just use, like a spreadsheet, or, how do you go about doing that?
I do use scheduling platforms. I have a couple that I really like, and it depends on which platforms you're going to use. I believe that you should choose the social media platforms based on the demographics, not based on where you think you should be. And so I have an entire, course on social media that talks about which demographics. You can even Google it, demographics for social media for whatever year that it is. And then once you know the 2 or 3 that you're supposed to be on, then you choose a scheduler from that, because some of them are better at scheduling on other platforms than others. And so there's 2 that I like. I have a pro toolkit on my website. It's free, and it's all the tools that I use, and those schedulers are in there. And then I like to do one of them has something called a bulk upload. So it's about creating a spreadsheet with all of your images, all of your dates, all of your times, all of your text. And you put all that in a spreadsheet. And then when you upload the spreadsheet, it populates all of the social media posts for you on the dates and times with the images and everything. So I like to do that. Makes it really quick and easy. But when we create those 4 days, we actually sometimes will even do one of the days as a question post, for example. And we might do a series of questions, maybe 6 or 10 questions. And then we'll actually repeat those over and over and over. We don't have to create 52 new questions for every year. We can repeat the same 6 or 10 questions for the entire year, and maybe next year swap them out. But really, people don't remember what you posted 6 weeks ago. And also, there's new people coming in all the time. So you don't have to keep posting every single, different one every single 6 weeks, because there's new people coming in all the time. So I like to also do a lot of repeats as well.
Yeah, evergreen posts are a great thing to have, because you can regurgitate old stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you get things off blogs? Do you do you repurpose a lot of things in your system?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with creating those repurposed posts that are actually looping within the system. I actually do blog posts as well. I recommend people do 12 months of blog posts, and those post once or twice a month based on RSS feed. So I like to automate as much as I can when it comes to social posting, because there are so many other things we can be doing with our day, especially when it comes to sales. So social media is kind of one of the least things, and we want to put that on as much automation as we can. So I like to have the blog post automatically post to social media when they actually get published, and also automatically post to an email marketing system, and that will actually go out in email as well.
Oh, cool. That's a great idea. I hadn't thought of that. So what system do you use for that one?
I like to use MailerLite. It's also one of my tools.
Ah,
It's in
yeah,
my
I love
system.
MailerLite. I think it's wonderful. I think it's better than the other one. It's
Oh
got
yeah.
better features, I think. It's not
Yeah,
as well
and a lot more
known
for
though, and
free.
you can't integrate it with a lot of things at the moment. But I'm sure they'll be working on it as popularity for the platform grows.
Yeah, and then you can do a lot with Zapier as well.
Yeah, I don't. I used to use Zapier, but I found it a bit clunky. But I've heard that it's a lot better now. So yeah, I might go revisit that because it's you can integrate almost everything with Zapier. So.
Hmm.
Mhm. So, what other things do you advise people to do, Elizabeth, as far as their posting and marketing is concerned?
Well, if you're going to do any kind of social media, you definitely need to be using something like Canva to make it easier to create those image posts and to make sure that you're always using your brand. So many people don't use their brands when it comes to social media, and they'll choose a funny picture or they'll choose a template from Canva and not change any of the colors. And that will really hurt their brand because then someone will see the post and say to their friend, "Hey, I saw this great post the other day. Let me see if I can find it." Instead of saying, "Elizabeth posted this great thing. Let me show you," because then they know who it is, where it's from, because it was branded enough for them to remember that it was from me or from you or whatever.
Mm,
So we want to make sure that we brand everything. And just because we're doing social media doesn't mean it's going to convert, right? They're going to see our social media and it should be sending them to a page where they can buy something or they can sign up for a call or something like that. Have that sale start to happen. And so if we're not sending them to a website that's converting, and it doesn't have to be, it could be a landing page or whatever, but a site that has all of our information, who we are, what we do, how much we charge, our credentials, all those things, portfolios, even all of that stuff needs to be together. And when you go to these landing pages, I think sometimes people feel boxed in. They feel
mm.
trapped. And when you go to a website, you feel like you have freedom to move around and to, explore. So I would definitely say that if you're doing social media, don't just rely on that. Don't just focus on that and then sending people to a landing page. Really make sure that you have that website available so that they can actually see who you are, what you do, and who you're sharing it with, and really get the full experience and have all their questions pretty much answered on your website. And that's what's going to convert them to booking that call, buying that product, rather than just saying, "Here's a social media post, buy my stuff."
Yeah, I agree. I think that's really annoying. I did a podcast earlier tonight, and I was talking to an SEO expert, and we were talking along similar lines. And I really dislike it so much when someone, friends you on Facebook, and then the next thing you know, you've got a DM, asking you to join their group or like their page or buy some product or their service or do something. And they haven't even like got to know who I am yet. And
Right.
I have no idea who they are. I've checked out their profile before I've accepted their ask, but really I don't know anything else about them other than what their page tells me. I don't even know if they're like a real person. So, why do people
Yeah.
do that? I think it's totally
It's the
rude.
quick fix. It's the quick fix. It's just like when we would go to networking back in the day, right? And
Mm,
that person would come up to you and expect to sell you something right then on the spot. And it's just that I think it's also a lack of education on the subject. And I know that there's so much education out there, but it doesn't mean that that person is seeking that education or looking to that education. So I think the more that we permeate the market with this type of information, it's going to help better the entire, population of marketers. But also, I think that, the gurus in this industry have really oversaturated in a bad way what marketing is. They've dictated what marketing is, and it's kind of out, it's been too loud. It's overshadowed the real marketing efforts and the organic marketing efforts that are actually working out there and actually making a
mm.
difference. So I think it's just our job to kind of start to sound that alarm and try to be as loud, or if not louder, than the gurus.
Yeah, I know. And also, you get these marketing gurus on there, and they say that, we're doing everything all wrong. And, if you follow my 10-step plan, you'll become rich in like 6 weeks and make 6
Right.
figures and all those sorts of things. And, and they're the ones I think have ruined it for the, genuine people out there. And I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say that they're not genuine, but I think they've overinflated their ability to help the client or customer or student, whatever, to make this money, because not everyone is a marketer.
Yeah. And not everyone's going to make 6 figures in 6 weeks.
Absolutely. Geez, I would love to make 6 figures in 6 weeks. That would be lovely.
And even though you might have the same program, the same platform, do all the things the same, it doesn't mean you're going to hit the same way that someone else did. I've seen people on YouTube that have amazing videos, millions of hits on their videos, just views out, just crazy views, and they're making $20. And then I see other people who have very similar stats, very similar output, and they're making millions. And so it's very, very interesting to see that someone could use almost the same platform, the same, process. And even when people buy these courses of how I made 6 million in 6 weeks or whatever, right? Then it's like, well, I did the same thing you did, and I have almost the same kind of product. Where's the disconnect here? And so I think that makes people disheartened, and then they become jaded from what, marketers do and say. And then when someone who actually comes to them genuinely and says, hey, we can help you, we can help this work, but it's not going to be the way you think it is. It's not going to be that way, but this is the reality. They don't believe us either.
No, absolutely not. No, they don't. And it's such a shame that, a few people have ruined it for, the masses. And I think social media, I mean, it's a good thing. Please don't get me wrong when I'm saying this, but I think sometimes there's a lot to answer for, because, you just get these people on there that they think, because they've had a good run or they've learned something, they can go and teach it to somebody else. And, they probably don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And I think that, when you see people who have these courses and stuff, and they've been in business 2-3 years, that's all well and good. But you look at somebody who's been in business 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, doing the same thing, promoting the same stuff. Those are the people that I say, that's the person I want to learn from. How did they get there? And you know what? A lot of it is perseverance, personal integrity. A lot of it has to do with them, that one person actually pushing the agenda forward, not finding some magic key or, system that's going to make everything happen for them. They're trying different things. They're moving with the trends. They're, sometimes they see things ahead of time. Sometimes they're on the end of the bandwagon, it depends on what happens, but they're moving forward. They're not just sitting there going, well, that didn't work, whatever, and they're not letting the failures get to them. I've had several failed businesses, even one last year during COVID. And it was heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's like, okay, but what's the next thing I'm going to do? What's the next piece? And so I think that, if you're actually going to follow somebody and look for that success key or whatever, consistency, branding, and being consistent with yourself. People who have businesses who say, oh, I don't feel like doing it today, or I just had a really bad week, or, I was actually not feeling very well over the weekend, and I still got work done. And so that kind of perseverance, that kind of fortitude is where I think that people find longevity and success in business, rather than even in marketing, rather than this fly by night, oh, it can be done in 6 weeks and things like that.
But there's no magic pill. You have to work hard to be successful, I believe. I don't think that, it may come easy to some people for whatever reason. They're obviously quite blessed, but
right place, right time also.
Yeah, I guess. But, most of us have to work, long hours and, push and push and push. And as you say, persevere to get anywhere in the marketplace, and, try and get your voice heard, because it's just so busy on social media now.
And I think if you're consistent in what you say, that's what shows the longevity out. And that's what shows the success out, because I've been saying the same thing for 15 years, but it took a while for the message to pick up. It took a while for that message to start, automatically gathering people to it rather than me having to go out there and grab them and bring them in,
Yeah.
And I think that people like, Seth Godin, he's one of those people that is at the top of his game. He's like one of the gurus, but at the same time, his message has not changed. He is saying the same thing he said for 20 years. And so I think that when you have that consistency, it's more about like we talked about, like with social media, there's people coming in all the time. So you're going to get sick of your message. It's going to happen, but no one else is going to, because they're going to be in for the time they need to be in, and then they might drop off because then they're not your ideal client anymore. But new people have come in, and then they're going to be in for a time, and then they're going to drop off. And so your message is always going to resonate with your clients if it's the right one for those clients. And so, and if it's not the right one for the clients you're thinking that it's for this other set, which you didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And so I think if you're consistent, even though you're the same person, you're seeing the same website, you're wearing the same color to every interview, then you might get bored of it. But that's kind of the perseverance as well, that you need to get through that and have that fortitude so that it says, I'm here today, I'm here yesterday, I'm here tomorrow. And I'm going to say the same thing so that you can benefit from it, whatever stage you come in, whatever time frame you come in. And I think that's what really shows the longevity of a good marketing campaign.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. So tell me a little bit more about your what have you authored?
So I have a book. It's actually a digital interactive book, and it is it's new. So it's 365 different tasks that you can do in your marketing to basically level up your marketing and move you forward. A lot of people ask me, well, what am I supposed to do today? What am I supposed to do next? And so when I was titling my book, I titled it Do This Next. And it's basically that next thing. So when you get up every day, it'll actually send you an email. That's how our book is interactive. Sends you this email and it says, this is your task for today. And it could take you 5 minutes. It could take you 50 minutes, but it is just one simple task. And a lot of people think, well, I have to do all these marketing things every single day. And you don't really. You can actually do one marketing task every single day and still see the benefits.
Yeah. So where can they find this book, Elizabeth?
It is actually in my free membership. It is called getabsolutemarketing.com/community, or you can just go to getabsolutemarketing.com and all the information is there. And if you join the free membership, the book is inside there.
Oh, perfect. And where else can they find you?
Well, getabsolutemarketing.com is really where all of my stuff is located. My free pro toolkit is there, the free membership, and I'm on all the social media platforms. I'm mostly on LinkedIn, though. That's been my favorite these days.
Yeah, they've really improved a lot, I must say, in what they're doing. I'm still trying to get to be able to do live videos, though. I applied.
That's been what everybody's been trying to.
Yeah, I applied over nearly 2 months ago, and I still haven't heard anything. So
I know, I've been waiting too. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. But anyway, we'll just keep plodding along. I might just keep reapplying and see what happens.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And
thank you for having me.
Last words of wisdom that you'd like to share?
Well, the main thing is you need to do something with your marketing rather than doing nothing. And it is a progress over perfection kind of thing. If you think it has to be perfect before it goes out, it doesn't. Just make sure you're using your brand colors, make sure you're sounding like yourself and not someone else, and post something. And even if you can get 2-3 weeks ahead, if you can get 3 months ahead, you only have to create 13 items to create all of your Mondays or all of your Tuesdays for 3 months. So 13 items, not too bad. So think about it in those terms, and I think it'll really move you forward.
Yeah, I think so too. And it really doesn't. If you use Canva for most of it, it doesn't really take that much time unless you're really fussy like me. Then it takes a while.
Progress over perfection.
That's it. Yes, I've been told that. Yes, many times. Anyway, thank you so much. And we will definitely speak again. I've really
thank you so much
today. All right. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.